All right, so Tectonic and VVS, what I know so far. So the other day, I had been watching, I'd watched Tectonic a little bit on the crypto.com app on my phone. I noticed it went for sale. Then I went back the other day and realized that it was. And it was in the top gainers. And it still has been gaining since then. So we'll get into it specifically. That I bought some into that. People seem to be buying into it. And we'll kind of look at what it's done the past few days and what I know about that in VVS so far. All right, so if we get into Tectonic, it's like 5 zeros and like 1191. And you can see in the last 24 hours, it's up about 18%. In the last 7 days, it's still saying 18%, but because you see it, because it was like it bottomed out like around here. I noticed it. I want to say, when was that? When was the other weekend? I noticed it probably like right around in here, but I also noticed it wasn't for sale on the crypto.com app. So I went back and I was going to like delete it because I marked it as like I started so I can look at it. Then I marked it off and I went and looked at it again, and they made it available to sell the like 4 days ago or somewhere about in the time. So it bottomed out. If we look at the whole, like it bottomed out like right around in there. So let's go back to this. But since like I started buying in around 5. I think I bought some more around like 6 or something like that. So I ended up getting some, and it's as we can look here, it's like technically down since its inception, but this graph starts around December 23rd. So if we go into, so what I understand so far is there's like the crypto.com app on your phone. Then they also have the crypto.com DeFi wallet. So these are what I use. And if you go into the DeFi wallet, you can go into D apps, and things like Tectonic and VVS Finance are in those, along with like Pancake Swap. There's like Beefy Finance, and there's some other stuff as well. So I noticed that Tectonic was rising, but a lot of times when you get like stuff rising, it'll do like spike stuff. This was like just like a slow, gradual rise. I'm like, that looks weird. So I put some money into it, and it's still slowly, gradually. If we look at the 7, it's still slowly, gradually. Oh, how come it doesn't? Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong thing. So the 24 hours is 18%, but the 7-day is 165%. So it's, if you put money in like down here, you've like more than doubled. Because I bought like I think about like what was it, like about like 100 mil, then like 50 mil, then I got like 150 mil, then I got like a 200 mil, so I can like have like 500 mil. Then I just went in. I ended up like cashing out some Allegorand that I had because it's been sitting low or whatever. I cashed it out. So I had like, I'm like, all right, a billion sounds like a significant amount, because I have like some Shiba too. And I have like, I mean, obviously nowhere near that, but like a lot of people try to get to like either 100 million or like a billion Shiba, depending on what it is. So I've been like looking and researching, been doing like a lot of stuff on like Reddit as well, trying to figure out what's going on. And because of the price action, or whatever you want to call it, has been going up, it's been showing up on people's radars. I think it's still fairly early, because I started buying in, let me look. So I started buying in Wednesday, January. Well, I did 100 million, then 500 million on Wednesday, January 26th. Today it's like 3:15 in the morning, January 30th. Then I did 150 million, 200 million, and 500 million, all on Thursday, January 27th. So I'm in. For me, this is considerably heavy, This is considerably heavy for me to like kind of, if I just like kind of notice it, then it just, I don't know. It's weird. I haven't seen like a gradual rise like that out of crypto. It's very janky and jarry, pointing most times. But okay, so looking into it here, from what I found out, that it's part of the Tectonic platform here. From what I understand, it's kind of like a borrowing and lending crypto. Kind of like if you go to a bank and you borrow money, you have to pay it back with interest. But the bank has that money because they have people saving it in their checking and savings account, and they give them like a tiny bit of interest. So this is kind of like that, but there's no bank. There's no like, I don't want to say there's like an institutional middleman because there's still like the smart contracts and stuff. But if we go into here, from what I was looking at, like if you provide them liquidity, you get like 1.5%, depending on what you're doing. Then if you're borrowing, then you have to pay back like 3.5–4%. So you make a little bit, they make a little bit for like processing all the fees, because all these like miners and stuff doing like proof of concept, proof of stake, and all this stuff is the ones that like validate the blockchain and stuff. So I haven't personally done any of the borrow or loan aspect of it, because I was just looking at the Crow essentially. Like if you supply Crow, you get 2.85%, but if you borrow 4.52, which isn't, compared to like some banks and stuff, it isn't terrible unless you have like a large, because if you're borrowing small amounts, you get like higher APR, APY. But if you're doing like massive amounts at a bank and you have like really good credit, it may be better. So if we go into like click Crow here, obviously I have like most of my stuff connected on my phone, but not on the desktop here. It's just basically, then there's like a distribution as well, 13, 19 there. But what I've been messing with myself is VVS Finance. So like I said, I bought a bunch of Tectonic. It's still going up. I think it's still going to go up for about 2 more weeks. And the reason I think this, they put out a Medium forum that someone like kind of alerted me to a little bit ago. And this was put out on December 6th. So when you go into the VVS, like if we go here or just refresh, there was a, well, there was a thing at the top. If you had held VVS like on or before January 18th, then you'd be part of an airdrop. So there's going to be a max amount of, they have it in here, it's going to be a max amount of like 500 trillion coins. That's going to be like the total supply all time. Right now there's roughly, last I looked, it was like 10 trillion, it was like 10.11 trillion. That's out circulating supply right now. So if you were holding like, I think the minimum was like 200,000. Okay. Yeah, so 600,000 is up from 200,000. So if you had held that either if you just held it, you're mining in the glitter mines, you're doing like liquidity pools or any of that stuff, then you'd be eligible for a Tonic airdrop. So for the Tonic airdrop, they're going to be dropping, it says, is it 50? I think I was looking at it was, is it saying, I read one place is 50 billion, but maybe this is like okay, this may be the course over 4 years, but I've seen for where's it at? It's saying specifically for February 14th here. I should have highlighted it. It's saying February 14th. I'm pretty sure that I read that. Basically, if you held it on January 18th, the VVS, the 600,000, then they're going to airdrop 50 billion of the Tonic into the wallets that were holding it. So right now, Tonic has been going up, like I was showing the last few days. Here's VVS. VVS has also been going up as well. Look at the 7-day here. It's up 38%. We'll look at the month as well. See, this was kind of similar as well. A lot of people on Reddit that I've been doing like a lot of research on there, because it seemed like there is a Tectonic Fi subreddit. You can go join it if you want to learn more. Basically, so Tectonic was going up. There's a lot of people getting added to the subreddit, like, oh, this is going to be the next big one. They're like, oh, this is like to the moon, to the moon, to the moon. Then like the people that have been in like Tectonic for a while are like, they're essentially getting pissed. I'm like, that's like, this isn't like a crap coin pump and dump type thing. And then like, this is like, oh, there's like governance, there's like actual like tokenomics and all this. There's a possibility of it being like a governance DAO and insurance and all this stuff at one point. But the reality of it is that it is going up now. It is getting attention. Surprisingly, it hasn't gotten as much attention as I think maybe other coins. Because when Dogecoin started pumping, that was like massive all over the place. When Shiba kind of started pumping May of last year, that's when I was aware of it. Then, of course, this last, October, November, when it went from like 6 to like all the way up to 88 or whatever it was. I think it even ate a 0 there. The thing is, the tonic here has, in the last 7 days, has like eaten a 0. Because right here, it's like 6 zeros and like 402. Then now it's 5 zeros. So I put in an amount. I've been watching it like a hawk. I've been contemplating either when I double my money, take out my initial investment and let the rest of it ride. But looking into this, it essentially seems like that this airdrop's going to happen. And from what people are saying, something like this happened with VVS. And when they added more tokens in the price drop, because there's like more tokens in there, so the price per token is dropping when the market cap is still the same. Because I know with the Tectonic, I figured like around here, like the market cap was like around, I think it's like 2 billion or something like that. But then down here, it's like sitting around 10 million or something right now, where it has been 10 or 12 million, where it is right now. But if you know any more about this, you can add it in the comments. But essentially, my idea is I bought $1 billion. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm watching the price. Also, we can see here, like for some reason around like nighttime, like early evening, no, late evening, early nighttime, say like 6 p.m. my time, Eastern United States, to about 10 or 11 p.m. There seems to be this, like, it'll go up, then it'll like dip a little bit. And it's happened, I noticed it like the last 3 days, because I bought it, I saw it going up and like slowing down. I'm like, oh, I'm like watching it, then it kind of started going back up. I'm like, okay, then it happened again. I'm like, all right. Then tonight is like, is it going to do it? There's like a pattern forming, like why it's doing that at that specific time. I'm not sure. Maybe it even did it here too as well. I don't know what time code this is on. But I know for at least the last 3 nights, around nighttime, when it like, you know, late evening, early nighttime, it like kind of stalls out for whatever reason. Like it consolidates for, I don't know, about 4 or 5 hours. I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that. And I'm not sure if the pattern is going to continue doing that, but it's just something I've noticed. So anyway, I bought the $1 billion. I'm holding on to it. Trying to decide if I want to wait till it hits, because if it hits like where it's 11.89 right now, if it hits like 14, I could probably cash out half of it, pull out my initial investment, and let the rest of it ride. But also, well, let's get to, so that's a possibility, or I could slowly like DCA out of it. But the thing is, they're doing the airdrop on the 14th. It's going to be an additional 50 billion tokens. So a lot of people are warning that when that happens, the price is going to drop. Apparently something like that happened to VVS, and its price had dropped at some point. But if you look at the last month on, let me put this in night mode. If you look at the last month on these, they seem fairly similar. Maybe VVS is a little. Let's do 3 months. Let's do all, actually. I mean, these seem... Okay, so VVS is showing like a month before. So maybe it's like a month ahead. But they're kind of almost similar. So, to reiterate, I got the billion. I'm holding on to it. I'm trying to figure out if I want to... keep an eye on it, whether I want to hold. Because I'm going to hold... I'm going to keep an eye on it daily. And I'm holding on to it. Then when it hits a certain point, I may cash out a certain thing and let the rest of it ride. But if I'm watching it and it's still continuously still rising up for the next 2 weeks, then I'll let it ride as much as I can. But I'm thinking, and a lot of people are thinking too, the 14th, the airdrop's going to happen. So they're saying maybe people on the 13th are going to sell, or maybe even that whole week prior, there's going to be like selling going on. Because it's going to, what's the word? Dilute the price of the coin when all those are added in. Then also, if we go into this as well, it's saying over the next, I want to say 4 years, they're planning on, is it over the next 4 years or maybe the next 10 years? I think it's maybe over the next 10 years, but the majority of it's going to be in 4 years. Yeah, so it looks like the majority of it in the next 4 years. Then the previous, and then the last 6 is going to like completely allocate everything out. And it has it here, the breakdown of the allocation. It's saying there will be a total fixed supply of 500 trillion tonic tokens that have been minted at Genesis and will become accessible over the course of 4 years. So airdrop, I'm assuming that's 500 billion, but I'm assuming that's the whole time. Incentives, that much, like half of it. The team is getting about a quarter of it. Reserves about 13%. Network and security maintenance 13%. There's also people that are coming from like Doge and Shiba and like all these kind of like other crap coins or tokens or whatever. Talking about like, is there going to be a burn or like how many? Because Shiba Inu right now is like trying to do like massive. They're trying to like do burns to raise the price of the token. So I don't think that's going to happen because they're talking about using it as governance and an insurance model. You can like look at you can go to Medium here. You can read through this whole thing if you want to. It came out December 6th. So let's talk about the airdrop in process happening now. But anyway, I got the billion. I'm watching it, whether I want to like sell out half when it hits my certain point or continue to watch it around the time of the airdrop and see how far I can get it. Now, something else that I've been doing too is like, I figured a billion was good. So I went to, in the VVS here, there's one thing you go into VVS here and you can go, farming is like a pairing liquidity pool thing. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how to explain that entirely. So I haven't done that. Maybe if you know specifically more about that, you can do that. So, but what I have done, what I'm doing, I'm in mines, or I'm mining, and what I'm specifically doing, because it's like one of the higher APRs as well. This was high, but for some reason it only netted about half your earnings as this. But what I got my billion, I'm like, that's a good amount. So, billion, right? I got the billion, I'm like, that's a good amount. It's like a couple of $100 it was when I bought it. Technically now it'd be roughly like 1,189, give or take, if you were to buy a billion now. I've seen people buy, there's like Reddit posts too. Somebody was buying, I think 4 billion. I think there's another one bought like 19 or 20 billion when it's sitting high. So luckily I found it not super, I didn't buy in super early, but I found it relatively early. So with this, what you can do, say you had like $1,000 of VVS, you'd start making like, what is this? A little over 4 million tonic a day. So over 30 days at current price, you'd be making 156. So what I'm doing is I got my billion sitting there, watching it, deciding if, when I want to sell and how much. But since I have that there, I've been taking, I think I have like 10 million of, I think I have 10 million, which is like around 350, something like that. I have about that. I'm trying to get more in there, but I got bills. I also, well, let me finish this thought. I'm like really sporadic. So I have that in there, and that's netting me roughly almost 1.5 million a day. So if you get the VVS in there, then you can start producing, because that's originally how it was given out, is between the staking and the crypto, lending. That's how it was originally, like the first 10 trillion-ish or whatever was given out. That's talking about like during the whole like Genesis and all that stuff. So I'm doing that. I'm putting into VVS, staking the VVS for tonic. And I'm getting the tonic. Then I'm just building that out. So one idea I had, because I was talking about pulling out the initial investment. I've contemplated even taking that initial investment, like $600-700, and put it into VVS and get this up to like around 1,000, which would get me what, 4 million tonic a day. Was it like 30 a week or whatever? Then a month was 137 million. Now this is at current price. Like I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's going to slowly continue going up until the 14th and then crash back down like some people are expecting. I don't know if it's going to crash tonight or this morning, whatever, like in the process of me like uploading this video. I don't know. I'm just coming on here and like kind of explaining my thought process. And I bought it a couple days ago. I'm like, oh, it's going to go up for a few days and go down, and it hasn't gone down, which I thought is interesting, because with the Shiba Inu raise that happened like mid to late last year, it kind of rose from like the 6-7 point to like the mid 20 point. And it stuck there for a few weeks, and then it kind of like slowly started shooting up like 35, 45, 55, then like all the way up to like 88 or whatever, and then it's been bleeding out pretty much since then. So I figured, still rising. We're on yeah, it's still rising. I'll come make a video. Like I said, if you have any more information that I don't know, you can put it in the comments. What I have on this one, 24-hour. I'm trying to get more VVS to stake to produce more free tonic, I guess you can call it. Then you can check out these lending platforms as well. And I guess I'll put my crypto.com referral link in the description if you want to like sign up to just look at it or whatever too. Because you can buy it in the, well, you can buy it in the crypto. It's 2 different apps. So there's a crypto. I guess technically there's 3, but in the US there's only 2 from my understanding. So technically there's the crypto.com app, which is your app with, let me pull it up here. So like it's your app that has home, accounts, the thing, track, and that's the one that has the crypto.com Visa card attached to it, which I have the Ruby. And I've been building up to get the 4K of Crow for the Jade, which I was DCAing into Crow. Then I kind of stumbled upon this, and this has like way higher possibility. So I figured I was going to do this until that went away, then go back into Crow. So there's that, but there's also a separate app that's like their crypto.com DeFi wallet. So it's a separate app that you have to download if you're going to do it on your phone. And you can also buy there. You have your wallet there. You have your D apps there. You can swap. Then you also have like their earn section as well, which is kind of similar to their staking on the crypto.com. If you want any more in-depth videos on like those apps specifically, I can probably make one at some point if that's something that's interesting you. But I figure I'd come on here and ramble for close to 30 minutes. I don't know. I was like wanting to get this out. But yeah. So I got some Tectonic. I'm going to sell some at some point. Then I'm also staking VVS to get more Tectonic. And it's just a waiting game to see whether it's going to continue to rise, if it's going to fall. Maybe it's going to rise, and around the 12th or 13th it starts falling. Then possibly you can like sell out then, or sell a portion out, 10%, 25%, 50%. Then wait till it falls back down, then buy back in when it dips. I know there's an issue with a lot of people in crypto, and I kind of have it too, and I'm trying to get better at it. Like, you have people like not wanting to take profits like at or near the top, and like they're holding and they're like diamond hands and all that stuff, which is fine and great for like actual maybe long-term investments, which well, that's the thing, like who determines what an actual long-term investment is? Like people that are buying Doge at like 0.0003 or something like that bought I don't know how many, because I had Doge that this little thing went on Robinhood where it was like 4.5. Like I bought in like $1,000 of that, but I ended up selling it pretty much at like break even. And then a few months later, or like a month later, it like started shooting up because my initial investment of 1,000, like if I had held on to it, it could have like went up to 10 to 15 grand, somewhere around in there. But for me at the time, I ended up like selling it and then like bought into like a dividend stock, because I've been like getting into dividend stocks. I'm trying to figure out a way for my money to make money. But it seems like this whole thing with crypto, and especially like D-apps, is like your money making money on like steroids. Because I hold like Prospect Capital stock that pays out like 6 cents per dividend per month, like 8 or 9%, which is like high as all for like stocks. But this is like, what did it say this was? This is like 173. I know that Timeland Wonderland crap was like 180,000 or something like that. But I think this too has a so this ends in 19 days is what it's saying. So that ends in 4 days. Okay. See, I hover on that on my phone. It didn't. Okay. Let's look at this too. So this doesn't. Because I was going to do, this was producing monetarily wise, like USD equivalent, like more than this was. Because I was going to do VVS for Tonic and VVS for VVS. Because they have an auto one here that automatically does it every couple of seconds. Like it reinvests your earnings. Any funds you stake in this pool will be automatically harvested and restaked, compounded yielding a higher return on investment for your funds for a small convenience and performance fee. So you have a small performance fee of 2% here, and you can't really unstake it within the first 72 hours, or they'll hit you with a small unstaking fee. So they have this as like a manual as well. It's like same thing. But, I mean, the APY is so much higher, though. Then I'm not sure what single is. That's another thing. That's the whole thing with the, I haven't really messed with, like, you can like buy Crow, or the one I was looking at was, I was trying to figure out how to do Tonic as well. I was looking at Tonic USDC, where you buy both of those and you put them in, then you get like LP coins or whatever. Then that's, like I said, I don't understand that. Also, another side note thing, they were quick on this too. On your crypto.com app, like they have staking where you can, like people, like I'd stake like Shiba Inu for like 3 months for like 2%. If you have like the Jade or higher card, you get like higher thing, but only got the Ruby. So they put Tectonic on there like fairly quick. And the minimum amount for that is 450 million tonic, which is let's do 400 and is that right? 450 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So roughly 500 and some dollars. If this continues, because with Crow, staking Crow on crypto.com app was 5,000 Crow. Then the Crow went all the way up to like 90 cents. Then it's fallen back down to like 30 and it's kind of back in the 40s now. And it was 5,000 Crow as a minimum to stake, and they changed that to 500. So if this continues to rise, there's a possibility maybe they'll just change it to like 45 million instead of 450 million, but we'll have to see. Whether, I guess in closing, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've like literally been like on my phone like all day, like going through and trying to research what I can. Doing a lot on Reddit, which you may not like agree that that's super reliable, but I mean, going to like the Tectonic subreddit or whatever was, I don't know. You gotta start somewhere. Also, they have a Twitter account too, the Tectonic Fi. So Twitter, Reddit, and all that stuff. So in closing, that's what I'm doing. I figure I just let people know. This was a long one, but it is what it is. All right, yeah. If you want to check out crypto.com, I'll link my referral in the description, and you can use that because you can use that to sign up with, and I think there's like I get $25 and you get $25, but I think you have to like stake 400 Crow for the Ruby card to like unlock it, because I had it for like 6 months, not able to get it until I actually got the Ruby card. But yeah, there's that. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. We'll see. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video in a week or 2 weeks. If something major happens, maybe I'll make one. Then if not, maybe we'll revisit this around February 13th, 14th or something like that and see what has happened. But that is it. If you got any info that I didn't cover in here, put it in the comments so I can know. I'm trying to, like, I've done crypto a little bit, but like D-apps is like something I'm like really new to. So I'm trying to get that. D-apps seem like they're like the wild, wild west of like crypto. Like crypto's already kind of like fringe, but when you get into the D-apps, it's like even more so. But the reward, it's more risky. I mean, it could technically, when you click into the D-app from your DeFi wallet, it'll say like, go at your own risk. Like, we don't own any of this. So there is that. Even like crypto.com itself got hacked a week, 2 weeks ago and lost however much it was. But all right, yeah, I'm going to end this. So got any questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff, put it in the comments below. If you like this, you can give me a like. If you really liked it, you can subscribe. I'm possibly technically want to do some, I contemplated doing a separate finance channel, but I figure I'd just throw this on here, see how it goes, because I've contemplated like delving into where I was doing like digital art. I kind of like started doing that on my own the last couple of years with like the as I bought the XP pen here. Let's as I bought the XP pen, like graphics tablet and stuff, and just started doing it on my own. Then like kind of NFTs like shot up this last 12 months or whatever, and I've contemplated getting into minting some NFTs, but like figuring that out and like not trying to pay. I don't like Ethereum, or I don't like the gas fees of Ethereum, because I've like bought like $100 worth of stuff and had to pay like 35 in gas fees, which is crazy. And that's the one good thing about crypto.com and like their Chronos network. like the Crow, the VVS, the Tectonic, when you transfer it, it costs like maybe like 20 cents to do it. If you're transferring something that's like Ethereum or like an ERC20 token, is like 25 to 45, $50, something like that, $75. So there's like a lot of traffic going on. So I like that aspect of it. So, all right, yeah, there's like that. Good old, it's late or early. Like if you like if you subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm out of here. All right, later.